4 years ago at Tech Systems, where we both worked at the time. Nikki was a recruiter, I was an account manager.
I was a little scared of him when I first met him. But yeah, we met at the office. We had like the same group of friends that we hung out with, so we kind of hit it off as soon as we did start talking to each other.
My first impression of Nikki was, wow, this girl is awesome. She was different than any girl I'd ever met before, loved sports, got along really well with me, super easygoing, outstanding sense of humor, and she was gorgeous.
My first impression of Adam was arrogant, actually, and that's so not my style for boys. He was just really, really good at his job, really hardworking. So yeah, like I said, I was a little intimidated of him, but that quickly faded when I got to know him. Adam and I's first date, we actually had a couple work lunches.
At Tech Systems, you know, the way they get to know each other is people go out to lunch quite a bit. It's something really built in the culture, and Nikki and I found ourselves starting to go out to lunch, you know, probably more often than most people, and you know, at that point, really started to feel some connection there.
We also had to keep it really low key because we were not allowed to date in our office.
Got the courage to ask her to go out with me. We ended up going to a batting cage, actually. We hung out for a while, did lunch, and then by the time we got to the cages, you know, me being a big-time baseball player myself, got in there and started taking some hacks. Felt pretty good about myself that I was impressing her. And then Nikki jumped in there, you know, started hitting the ball pretty well righty, and I was pretty impressed. And then next thing you knew, she stepped over to the left side of the plate and started ripping the ball lefty. And right then and there, I was like, wow, I think I need to marry this girl.
Our first official real date outside of work was Black Rock.
After Nikki showed me up at the batting cages, I thought it was definitely going to be worth taking her to dinner.
This is the first time he was going to see me like outside of like work scene, work clothes. So I was very nervous. He picked me up from my apartment that I had just moved into in Royal Oak. It was kind of a long drive out to Black Rock from where we were. But I think he was trying to show off a little bit. So we took a long drive, we went to a nice restaurant.
Had an amazing meal, cooked steaks together, loved the fact that she liked steak. Had some drinks, we ended up going over to Bar Louie. Pretty much spent the whole night out there just talking, getting to know each other more. From that point on, I mean, I just knew that I bonded with this girl.
We had a really long night, but it was definitely one of my better first dates.
Our first kiss. Nikki will probably tell the story a little bit differently, but I remember pretty vividly that we were all out together with a group of friends, hanging out. You know, Nikki was actually about to leave and head home.
Of course, we were trying to play it cool, like we weren't that into each other. And I was getting ready to leave, and he asked if he could give me a hug. And I said yes, and he gave me a hug, and I'm pretty sure I called him out for it being kind of a weak hug. And I'm pretty positive that was also our first kiss. He had to one-up the hug that I called him out on.
Before she left, you know, I made sure that I needed to give her a big hug goodbye. So I went out there, you know, gave her a hug, pretty much squeezed her and didn't want her to go. And right at that moment, I dove in for the first kiss. It was pretty magical. She might describe it differently, but that's definitely how it went down. It's a pretty strict rule at work that, you know, not really supposed to be seeing anybody in the office. So, you know, one day, Nikki and I really started thinking like, hey, I think it's time we tell our managers about this, you know, really starting to have some feelings for each other. Before that could happen, it seems like they had found out. Next thing you know, Nikki and I weren't working together anymore, which may have been the best thing that ever happened to us.
Adam is funny. Adam is hardworking, dedicated, focused, family man, he's kind, just honestly one of the most like thoughtful people I've met. He's filled a lot of gaps for me as far as like what I didn't know I needed in someone else. He's just perfect in my book.
Nikki is the most amazing woman I've ever met. She's absolutely beautiful, both inside and out. She's got an awesome blend of being extremely responsible, but being able to let loose when needed and really let me be myself. I think she brings the best out of me. She is one of a kind. She's an amazing mother to our dog Tyson. She's gonna be awesome for our future kids, and I couldn't be happier. So it wasn't a matter of if, it was more so a matter of when I was gonna propose to Nikki. And when I really started to think about it, I wanted to do it soon. And if anyone knows me, I'm a big procrastinator, but when I do need to get something done, I'll get it done then. So I shopped for about a week, and bought Nikki a ring from Colorado, which I had never seen the diamond in person before, so I was obviously freaking out about that a little bit. I received the ring. It was gorgeous. I still remember to this day when Nikki's parents were at my house and I showed them the ring in the other room. Their eyes lit up. I had the ring for about a total of 1 day in my own possession before I proposed to Nikki.
It was my birthday weekend, and I knew that we had been talking about getting engaged sometime soon. I had a feeling it was coming, but we had a family vacation a couple weeks after my birthday, and I was thinking maybe it would happen then. So I really had no expectations going into this birthday weekend. I had planned it myself. It was with my brother, his girlfriend, Adam's sister, her boyfriend.
We went up to Traverse City. I was freaking out the whole time as the ring was in my coat pocket. We couldn't find my car keys, so Nikki was searching around the whole Airbnb looking for my car keys, only to look inside my coat pocket about 3 different times, but not to see the ring. So at that point, I knew she probably didn't have a very good idea of what was coming, so I thought that I was lined up for a pretty good surprise. Took Nikki to a wine tour and tasting to try and distract her, get her attention off it, only for Nikki to take forever to finish her wine, so we were all ready to go. And then at this point, it was basically me just trying to distract her while they all set up shop at the restaurant and waited for us.
And Adam wanted to check out a brewery close by and get some kind of like glass or souvenir to take home with us. And it was closed and it started raining, so I started getting really mad that we were standing out in the rain.
And Nikki's like, what the hell are we doing out here? Why are we standing in the rain? Let's get down and eat dinner.
So we ran over to the insane asylum where dinner was supposed to be, and I was really just taken in by the place, the history. It was so cool. Little did I know, he was behind me basically pushing me to get to our table because it was tucked away in this little back corner of the insane asylum. And the person leading us back there pulled back a curtain, and the whole room was just lit up in candles and lights and flowers, and there was a little chalkboard sign that said, "Nikki, will you marry me?" So I lost my breath.
She freaked out and turned around, the look on her face.
And Adam was on his knee.
Words may have came out a little stuttered.
"Nikki Marie Turcotte, will you spend the rest of your life with me?" I think. I blacked out a little bit.
But I asked her to be my wife and be with me forever, and she said yes.
My answer was, of course.
And then we had an amazing dinner, followed up by hopefully the best birthday of her life.
It was a really cool night.
It was the greatest day of my life.
Adam, I just want to tell you that I am so incredibly lucky to have you. You are everything that I've ever dreamed of.
Nikki Marie, I just want to tell you that I'm the luckiest man in the world. Ever since you came into my life, you've made everything better. You're an amazing person. You bring the best out of me. You bring the best out of everyone you're around. I know I've been calling you my wife for a number of months now, but today you officially become my wife, Mrs. Chukla, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. As Nikki rests her arms on my broad shoulders, we'd like to thank you all for sharing this special day with us. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Thank you guys all for coming and being here today. Up until today, we didn't even know if this was going to happen, so we can't thank you all enough for your love and support.
Love you.